Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Apostle Nikki and we're still on Marriage the Kingdom Way, and in this video I just actually wanted to record it and give a word of caution. And this word is for those that have received a promise from the Lord. These are the ones that have received either a promise of, kingdom wealth or kingdom marriage or whatever promise it is that you have received from God. I just wanted to caution you to be very careful about who you release this information to or who you share this information with. Okay, so and there are two sets of people, really, right? There are people that are very close to you, and because you guys are used to sharing a lot of things, you may tell them that, hey, actually, God promised me marriage. God even showed me like my future spouse, and God even told me that I'm gonna get married on such and such a date, or whatever it is that God has shown you regarding that person, right? And the first set of people are the people that really do have good intentions for you. These are people who love you, don't hold any ill motive against you, right? But they may, because they have not gone through down that path, right? They don't know how to advise you, and the only way to advise you is the best way they know how, which is to use their carnal mind or to use what they think is wisdom, but it's really not wisdom coming from God. It's rather based on diluted with personal opinions, right? So because as you're going through this whole stance of you waiting on the promise from God, there will be a lot of things that are really just not making sense. Like there's gonna be a lot of things that are not making sense. Maybe you may even get to a point where the promise has died and you look stupid to the people that you told, like, oh, okay, this is what God said. Or you may get to a place where there's divine separation, you're not even talking anymore, and you may want to share this with your friends or your family members that are close to you, that this is what is happening, and they are going to judge it off face value. They're going to judge it of what they see, right? Because God hasn't delivered or hasn't called them into a kingdom marriage or hasn't revealed to them yet. Maybe it's going to happen for them in future, but for now, it's you that received that promise, right? And so you trying to look for answers in people, trying to look for answers in this one and that one, trying to look for advice, let me tell you, in as much as they love you so much, you're going to end up either deviating from what God is telling you, because there'll be a contradiction between what they are saying and what God is saying, right? God will be audibly or clearly telling you one thing, right? Hold on, I know what I'm doing. And then they are looking at it from the outside and they're like, you know what, give up on this whole thing. This whole thing's not gonna work. Or they may give you advice just based on what they are saying because they want the best for you. And this thing right now, when it's going up and down, where they don't really understand, it doesn't look like the best thing for you, right? So some people can love you too much out of your destiny, right? Their love for you can pull you out of your destiny, can make you lose your kingdom inheritance, right? I believe that when what's his name, Joseph was sharing with his brothers about the dream that he had. It's not like Joseph was bragging or anything, right? Joseph just wanted to share with them, like, hey guys, I dreamt of this, right? And then he came back the second time, I dreamt of this, right? But even if his brothers did not mean any ill against him, right? I don't think that they would have advised him rightfully on what to do with those dreams, because they had not received those dreams themselves, right? They had not been called to be the one that will lead. It was Joseph that was called into leadership, right? So him trying to maybe get, say for example, if he had tried to look for the dream interpretation from people outside, right? They would have told him, no, maybe it means this, maybe it means that, and maybe Joseph would not even have come into his promise, right, as the one that is chosen to lead and to rule, right? But like what I'm trying to say here is that some people can love you too much, but because they lack the knowledge, because they've not gone down that path themselves, right? Their advice may be detrimental in the process. So when God is calling you into kingdom wealth or kingdom whatever it is that He's giving you, kingdom business, kingdom marriage, the best thing to do is just zip your mouth. Don't even try and convince people or tell people or share with people, or just zip your mouth, right? The Lord was even highlighting this to me the other day. He said, when I release a promise upon an individual, for a kingdom marriage, the only three people in this is me, it's them, and the kingdom spouse, not anybody else, right? If the Lord was showing me that when you begin to listen to other opinions of other people, what happens is that everybody comes with a different brick. The Lord showed it to me as a foundation, right? When you're building a house and you're laying the foundation, God was showing it to me as a foundation, that this one came with a brick that was like maybe made of something else, and it's red in color. This one came with a brick that was designed a different way, different color, made out of a different thing, and also laid their brick. And the Lord was saying, when this happens, what happens then? There's a misalignment in the foundation, and the Lord cannot continue to build, right? That there will be stones that will be out of place, because everybody just came with their own stone and just placed it wherever and however they wanted to place it, right? But remember, the most important thing in this stance, or in what God is building, is the foundation, not necessarily the building, right? So that's where you need to be very, very careful. Like, what are you listening to? Who's giving you advice? Who's your advisor in this stance? Because even though they mean well, their bricks may not be aligning with what God is saying, right? Those are the first set of people. And then the second set of people are the people that, they may also be very close to you, and you are sharing with them, just like Joseph was sharing with his brothers, like, oh, I had a dream, and then in this dream, this and this was happening. I dreamt that the other sheaves were bowing to my sheaf, and whatever, right? And look at how they received it. They did not receive it well, right? It triggered a spirit of envy and jealousy on the inside of them, right? And in that envy and in that jealousy, wickedness began to abide in their hearts towards Joseph, even though these were his own brothers, people that were very close to him, right? And I think sometimes we're oblivious to this, because we love people, we want the best for people, and we can never even harbor any ill intention or any whatever ill against somebody else, and even devise like a plan. So we tend to think like everybody has the same heart as us, or everybody wishes us well, right? But this is not the case. It's simply not the case, right? Some people are not able to handle what God is doing in your life, and the bitterness and the jealousy and the envy just pushes them to act out of character, right? Now they become a tool that the enemy uses, right, to cast witchcraft spells on you, on this promise, on this marriage, kingdom marriage that God is giving you, right? They go to altars with your pictures on them. They go to altars and begin to just cast spells in order to make sure that this promise does not come to pass, right? And you will not even know what is happening, because in your face they'll be smiling, they'll be laughing, they'll be pretending like they're for you, but in their hearts, right, they know what they are doing behind your back, right? And it's a hard reality to even imagine that somebody that is close to you could do that to you, but this is a reality. This is a reality. Once that jealousy exists on the inside of them, remember, the enemy is just looking for a vessel that he can use. The enemy is just looking for a vessel. So if he can come, and when the enemy sees that this person is jealous of you already, he's going to come in and cash out on that jealousy, right? He's going to plant thoughts in their minds like, yeah, you can stop this thing doesn't have to proceed, right? And then they are busy working witchcraft when behind your back, and you don't know anything about it. And then when you just begin to see things getting complicated, things just not going according to plan, things not aligning, and you're like, what is really happening? What is going on? Meanwhile, it is because of that spell that is working against you, that is fighting against you, unknown to you, right? So you have to be very, very careful with what you say. The best thing, just don't say anything to anybody. Talk to God about it. Talk to God about your feelings. Talk to God about everything that you're going through. Let it just be between you and God. You need to learn how to close your mouth You really need to learn how to close your mouth, because if you don't have a closed mouth, you have a destiny that is open to attacks, a destiny that can easily be targeted by the enemy, right? Even though in the end, yes, God will still overpower the plan of the enemy and still give you the promise, right? But all these things that you go through in between could be avoided if you could just like keep quiet and just keep the whole thing between you and God. So remember, if there's a promise upon you, just make sure that you don't tell it to the wrong people, and even the right people, because they may love you too much, and their love for you and their advice may pull you out of destiny. So it's only you, that person, that's the other person that's involved in this promise, and God that's supposed to be part of this. With that being said, I am Apostle Nikki. Thank you for watching this video. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.